Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about two things you can do to start to program your unconscious mind immediately. Make sure you're liking, commenting, subscribing, hit the bell if you want to achieve your highest potential. Now, with me, I think that learning to program your unconscious mind is the most important thing that you could do as a human being. The ability to change your habitual thinking, change your habitual emotions, and change your beliefs about yourself, so that you're no longer held prisoner to the way you've been in the past, but instead you can create yourself in the way that you want, in a way that fulfills your values, in a way that makes you incredibly happy to be alive, and create the most out of your life. I think that really is the ultimate freedom of being a human being. And you can only do that if you learn to program your subconscious mind on purpose. So, two things that you can do to start programming your mind. So the two things are clarity and repetition. And you're already using these two things right now in every area of your life. In any area of your life, and I'd like you, if you're watching this, to pick a stuck state. So we'll use the example of losing weight in this scenario. When I work with clients and they want to talk about weight loss, they have incredible clarity about their limitations. They know, they're so clear about the fact that they don't like to work out, or that they don't like to eat healthy, or that it's so hard to do this, that, and the other. And then if you ask them what they want, they have almost no clarity about that whatsoever. It's always in relation to what they don't want. And you cannot program your mind in negation. So if I ask you right now, stop and do your best not to think of a polka-dotted pink elephant snorting cocaine off of a toilet, do not picture that now. Your mind first has to create an image and then cancel it out. But by the time you've canceled it out, you've already made the image. And your unconscious responds to that imagery more than it responds to willpower. Imagination is more powerful than willpower. So when you program yourself in negation, you're saying, don't do this, don't do that, I don't want that. You're giving your mind clarity about the wrong thing. And so the first thing that we do in coaching is we spend time, focus, and energy getting absolute radical clarity about what will be right when it is right. When you've achieved your goal, what will you see, what will you hear, what will you feel, what are the steps to get there? And only when you have that type of clarity can you actually start to achieve your goal. When you have that clarity, now you can move on to the second step, which is repetition. People not only have greater clarity about what they don't want, but they constantly ruminate on it. They ruminate and ruminate and ruminate on all of their mistakes over and over and over and over again. And I had a mentor once say to me, there's no difference between what you ruminate on and what you program yourself for more of in the world. So if you want to change, if you want to achieve something, you have to stop that rumination and you have to shift over to what it is you want. You have to constantly train yourself to have that clarity of what you want and to focus on it again and again and again. So what's really going to make this powerful for you is developing a practice of mindset. You need a mindset practice in which either daily, weekly, monthly, getting a coach, creating a container in which you are going to devote that time and energy to upgrading your mindset. And it is so worth it, because the results of changing your unconscious thinking, the difference in a belief is the difference between a millionaire and someone who's broke. The difference in a belief is the difference between someone who has an incredibly powerful relationship that's filled with intimacy, love, connection, fun, adventure, orgasms, and someone who has something that's boring, mediocre, where you argue with your spouse day in and day out about the same old crap. It's all about a belief. It's all about your unconscious thinking. And you have to choose, and you have to develop within yourself an absolute refusal to settle. Period. I am not going to settle for the unconscious programming that I have today. And that means creating a practice. Leave you with this. If you want to create a practice, Two great times to do this are right before bed and right when you wake up in the morning. Before you go to sleep, the last thing that you do right before you go to sleep can set you up to program yourself for that success. As you go off to sleep that night, right before bed, you go into this hypnagogic state where you're receptive. And if you look at your affirmations, if you look at your goals, and you start to imagine yourself taking those steps, achieving those goals right before you go to bed, that's an incredibly effective way to program your mind. The second, and I got this idea from one of my clients, absolutely brilliant idea, is to do it right in the morning. So when you wake up, you have a similar hypnagogic effect. And what he does is he's actually recorded his affirmations on his iPhone and set his alarm to go off 20 minutes before he wants to wake up. But instead of the alarm, it's his affirmations. So create a practice of continuing to hone in on clarity, continuing to repeat that vision inside the mind at every level. So it's not just the actions, but how you're going to feel, how you're going to believe about yourself differently as you're achieving that goal. And through repetition, you will get there. Now, that's assuming that you want to go the slow way. The fast way is to get yourself a coach who knows what they're doing, and they can help you change beliefs much quicker and get you on that trajectory much, much faster. Invest in yourself. Remember, your unconscious mind and your conscious mind are the most powerful resources that you have, and it's either going to be programmed haphazardly by your environment, by your parents, by your friends, by society, or you're going to choose who you're going to be.